right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now we get to talk about Cody Garbrandt because Cody Garbrandt has an opponent, and it says a lot about Cody Garbrandt. The UFC validates a bunch of things that I talk about all the time, and we're going to talk about all of those things because bottom line, his new opponent has never won a single fight by knockout, right? Now I'm saying this because what we're going to talk about is how it demonstrates Cody Garbrandt's value to the UFC. We're going to talk about kind of favoritism as it relates to matchmaking and why it's the right thing to do if you're the UFC. We'll talk about all that. He's fighting Rani Yahya, right? By the way. Rani Yahya. Wait, what? Rani Yahya. I think I just said the same thing 3 times as if I had been saying it differently. But nonetheless, we'll get into it. Now, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Tell everybody that you know because this is the channel. You want to know something? I recorded this video and my audio was a little bit off and I'm re-recording it. That's my dedication to you guys because I love you guys like that. All I'm asking is just, subscribe. Now, so let's jump into this thing. Okay, so he's fighting Rani Yahya, who has never won a single fight by knockout. Now, why, again, is that notable? Okay, well, Cody Garbrandt has lost 4 or 5 all by knockout. Okay. Now, if another fighter had lost 4 or 5 by knockout, you know what happens? The UFC is like, listen, bye-bye. Now, in fairness, Cody Garbrandt is young. He's fast. He's incredibly talented. He's super charismatic. He has tremendous value to the UFC. They're going to do anything they can to blow air into his career because there aren't that many Cody Garbrandts. That's the reality, man. There are not very many. If that guy went on a huge winning streak, right, and became like a dominant champion, that's selling pay-per-views, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what this is. That's why, when people are looking at the sport and they're like, geez, Louise, someone said that Conor McGregor might get an immediate title shot. Can you believe that? It's like, yeah, of course I can fucking believe that. He's the most valuable person. He's the most valuable asset the UFC has. They're going to do anything they can with Conor that's going to maximize revenue without completely delegitimizing the validity of the championship. Of course they're going to do that. I mean, if they can, So, speaking of which, I actually just found out 2 different things about Conor McGregor's comeback, neither of which I don't think I could say publicly, but yeah. Well, certainly one of them, the person I found out from, if he's not saying it publicly, then I certainly can't. But anyway, we'll see. There should be news coming out soon. But anyway, nonetheless, it's like, look. So if you look at Sean O'Malley as a perfect example, right? Like you look at Sean O'Malley's matchups. People are like, oh my God, he's gotten such favorable matchups. Yeah, because they want him to remain undefeated. Of course, Sean O'Malley is one of those, that's a diamond that they are going to protect. They're going to shine it up. They're going to protect it, and then they're going to put it in there against other fighters that they think it will beat. That's a weird way to start, but you get what I'm saying. Sean O'Malley is going to get the most favorable possible matchups because he has tremendous value. And I was talking about this with someone. They're like, I don't think he's got the charisma of Conor McGregor. I'm like, okay, well, you're comparing him to the most charismatic and biggest star in the history of the sport. Sean O'Malley is tremendously charismatic. He is super fun to watch. He wins. He's so fun to watch. And he's got a big personality. And a lot of people will dislike him. He's going to bring eyeballs 100%. And they're like, well, he's not that big of a draw. Right. He's not. He hasn't even been in title contention yet. Wait till he's in title contention. You think Sean O'Malley's never going to be in title contention? That's ridiculous. Of course he will. They just want to make sure that he's ready for it because they want him to win. Make no mistake. They want him to win. Anytime Sean O'Malley's fighting, they want him to win. Dana is watching that, and he's, he'll have a poker face on for sure, regardless of who wins. But trust me, okay? Dana's baby is the UFC. The UFC needs big stars. Sean O'Malley winning creates a big star, continues the... there was a moment before his last fight when he had the entrance, he had the first fight on the main card. And he came up there. They had this incredible crane shot, dude, where he got up and he turned around and went like this, and they panned out, and the whole place went nuts. And it was like, damn, dude, he's a fucking star. He's a star. And then he went out there and he proved it again. I mean, he's up against a guy who didn't pose a huge threat to him, but nonetheless, the fighters. The fighters remember, but the fans don't really even pay that close attention to who a person beats. They really don't. That's why, Jake Paul can go knock out Ben Askren. They're all, I think he could beat Canelo. You're all, what? They're all, he's got knockout power. What the fuck does that have to do with beating Canelo? I mean, I'm not saying like smart people would say that, but like some people don't understand. They're all, well, I saw Canelo knock a guy out, and then I also saw Jake Paul knock a guy out. I mean, geez. So anyway, the point I'm making is Cody Garbrandt has tremendous value to the UFC. Now think about this, right? Like, so if the fighters who get bent out of shape about this, because they do, right? They get bent out of shape. They're like, oh God, they're going to give Cody Garbrandt like the most favorable matchup ever. He just lost 4 or 5. I'd get cut. That's probably true. If you're saying that out loud, it's probably true. Here's the thing, okay, about Sean O'Malley, about Cody Garbrandt. Okay, the reason why they're getting favorable matchups is because they have tremendous value to the UFC, right? Now, do you think that they have tremendous value to the UFC due to no work that they've done? Like, you think that they haven't done any work to create that value, right? Like, look at me as an example, okay? I have no fights in the UFC. I have no professional fights, period, okay? Like, you could, I mean, if you see a clip of me hitting the bag, you can see, like, I know what I'm doing a little bit. But, like, and I built this, okay? What you're looking at right now. If I could quit my job right now and I could make a living doing what I'm doing right now. I started, like, 25 months ago, like a little more than 2 years ago, okay? If I can do it, you could just start doing shit. You're not doing anything, Like, if you're complaining about this and like, oh, I've got no, the UFC's not promoting me. Promote yourself, dude. You have a check mark by your name. I had nothing. Okay, I realized, like, I was blessed with some skills on the microphone and this pretty ass face and a dime piece wife. I got that one on my own, though. But, like, dude, when I blew up, when the Fabia stuff hit and I blew up, I had done 500 videos in the previous year. 500. Okay? So stop complaining about these guys getting favorable matchups and go start doing something. Like, build your fucking social media. Go start doing a podcast and post every day. Don't, like, people, they do like, I see all these guys, they do like, they're like, oh, the blah, blah podcast. They do 4 fucking episodes and they never post again. They're all, I don't know, it didn't work out for me. It's like, oh, shocker. Oh, it didn't blow up on your very first one. They didn't hear, the number 8 guy, started a podcast. And it didn't just immediately blow up? Fuck, that's unbelievable. Who could have called that, dude? I would have thought for sure it would have blown up overnight. Okay, that's not how this shit works. Like, well, dude, you don't get it, man. I'm in camp. I'm training twice a day. Bitch, I have a full-time job, okay? A tough job. A job that, like I said, I could make a living doing this. But I make too much fucking money over here. I don't have like a small-time job. I'm structuring big-ass deals, okay? I do that, and I do this, son. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm cranking content this month, baby. So just go do something. You'll get favorable matchups. Now, I also want to talk about tune-up fights. But before I do, I want to talk about IPVanish. And you want to know why? Because IPVanish is the bomb, dude. I don't like people knowing where I am, okay? I don't like people knowing where I am. I don't like the NSA. I don't like Facebook. I don't like all these people collecting my data. I don't like it, dude. I don't like it even a little bit. And let's say hypothetically, since we're talking about the fight business, if I was going to watch something that I wasn't supposed to, hypothetically, you don't want people knowing who you are, dude. Okay? I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm not suggesting that you would do a thing like that. But if a person did do that, you don't want them knowing where you are. You don't want them tracking your IP address anywhere, okay? Like when you post something here, IP address attached to it. When you post something here, IP address attached to it. When you're searching things on Pornhub, when you're searching things there, all goes in your file, dude. You don't want that. At least I don't want that. I don't want people knowing what I'm looking at. And so if you don't, then I would suggest getting IPVanish, because IPVanish will block all of those people from collecting your data. They'll block anybody from knowing where you are. Let's say hypothetically you're in another country and you wanted to watch a show on Netflix. It sees that you're in Mexico, but you can't. Well, bloop, IPVanish, I'm in Houston, and boom, you can watch your stuff. Just like that. So if you want to be able to do that, go to ipvanish.com/Jesse and then use promo code Jesse for 70% off, dude. And anybody who does and then sends me their receipt will get some free merch from me. So again, ipvanish.com/Jesse, that's Jesse, and then use promo code Jesse, Jesse. Send me the receipt and I will send you some merch with your, obviously include your address in the email. But you're going to love it, dude. You are going to love yourself some IPV, because I do. Anyway, so let's talk about like favorable matchups, dude. Okay. So when we're talking about favorable matchups, right? Like I'm sorry, not favorable matches. We're talking about tune-up fights, okay? Because one thing I've been saying forever is that, like, the UFC needs to do a better job of recognizing when a guy's on a skid, a star is on a skid, and giving them a tune-up fight, right? Darren Till, huge star, incredibly charismatic and a great fighter, needs a tune-up fight. Get this guy 2 wins in a row, man. You know? Like, get him those wins. He's the guy. Like the fans, like, if you hear Darren Till's fighting, right? Like, this is the thing that I actually think the UFC does not do a great job of. And I'm thinking about this right now. The UFC, it's like the best guys fight the best guys all the time. Best guys versus best guys. And it's like, all right, yeah. And I actually think it costs them from building up big fights. Because if the best guys always fight the best guys, then one of the best guys always has to lose, right? That wasn't the case before because there were only so many guys. And so you'd have them fight and then you build up to some big, magnificent fight. It's like so like instead of having Darren Till fight Derek Brunson, how about you have both those guys fight on the same card against people that they can probably beat and then set up a fight after that, you know? Like Cody Garbrandt. You know, I mean, obviously he went on a tough skip, but like it was just like guy after guy, just killer after killer after killer. And now finally they're giving him a tune-up fight, which is awesome, you know? But give him 2, dude. Give him 2 tune-up fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, get these guys back on track when they're stars. Darren Till, perfect example, you know? And Conor even, you know? Like, I realize it's probably not going to happen, but like Conor even, dude. Get the guy a win. Let him remember what it's like to go in there and put a dude's chin through his fucking spine. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's probably enough. I love you guys. Peace.